till 1919. I came on today to review, I suppose, the Bournemouth game. Look at the other scores as well in the league, how it affects us if it does this early in the season and that type of thing. Does it really affect us right now? Not really, in my opinion. Some good results, good scores. Nice to see Man United struggle. We have a big game coming up at the weekend when we're playing Spurs. And to be fair, it was a game that I was probably looking at and thinking, oh, it could be dangerous. But then I watched that Wolves game and I thought, we have a chance here. We have a chance here. We're starting to score. We're starting to really create within the first minute. DCL gets a great opportunity. Gets 3 great opportunities really throughout the game. He caused them problems all game long, that Bournemouth game. But before I go too much in depth into the game, I want to touch on a couple of things. The Spurs game's up for grabs, in my opinion. If we can play defensively, taking away the equaliser for Bournemouth, I think solidity in defence was perfect. I thought Goodmanson again was top drawer. But looking at the Spurs game, they can be got at. I think we can get at them physically. And DCL has to start in that game because he's been all over the place, been able to run beyond and create space. Has been brilliant to see. I was so comfortable throughout that Bournemouth game. I didn't think at any stage we were going to lose the game. And Bournemouth are a very good team. People sleep in Bournemouth all the time. They're second or third in the league. They ran Liverpool close. They have no superstars, but my God, they have a really solid team with a top drawer manager. So people can't sleep in Bournemouth. They're not going to be in a relegation fight. They're going to be comfortably mid-table. Because of a good team, barring injuries or offering combinations, things like that, they should be okay comfortably. And we were better than them by a long way. So, am I concerned? No. It was a very good point, a very, very, very good point. And I didn't feel like we lost the game at the end of the game because at the same time, yes, we conceded. It was a good goal. It was a lapse. People can say it was Farka made the wrong decision or the right decision at the wrong time and taking DCL off. And listen, let's be honest. It was the wrong, in my opinion. DCL should have been in for the corner. It doesn't matter. We conceded a goal in the last. We have to be better. We have to play to the final whistle. We can't switch off at that back post. It's concerning. That's happened twice in 3 games that we've switched off against Fulham, that freak goal, and then against Bournemouth we've switched off and there's 2 men free. But taking away that, I'm not taking any negatives out of that. I got to look at this and say, I take a point all day long against Bournemouth. Yes, we're at home. The crowd was very good. As usual, at home. We always are. So bloody difficult. We had booked hotel and flights and all and couldn't get bloody tickets. It's just going to be the way things are this season. And, League One days, you could get 10 tickets you wanted. Championship days, 15th in the league, you could get 10 tickets you wanted. Just now it's a struggle for people from Northern Ireland. We're having to go corporate if we can get the tickets there, and they're even bloody sold out up to quite a bit in the distance. But I should be over a few times this season, hopefully. But looking at the Bournemouth game, again, before the game I was so annoyed with Farka, thinking we have Dan James in the bench and we're starting Brendan. Well, what is going on here? Why are we continuing to do this? He gives us nothing going forward. And throughout the game, to be fair, I thought Brandon did well. Um, he defensively covered the right perfectly. Defensively, he goes down like he's shot every second. There is no upper body strength. And we know he's got issues going forward. Every time the ball goes forward, like you can clearly see DCL just stops running. And then you can actually see DCL moves now towards Okafor for the long ball because he can play the ball to Okafor and play it off or play the, he doesn't do the interchange with Aronson because he knows he's not getting the ball. That's not good, in the long run. I don't think Brendan starts every game. If you have Willie and Don James back and all and they're fit, Brendan doesn't start. We know that. We know Fark at the minute. People we can't jump on that bandwagon and blame Fark over that because at the end of the day, they know whether or not James is fit, and the fact that he didn't come on suggests to me that the Don's not fit. He's not fit for competitive football yet. He may well be fit enough for the Spurs game. I think Farkham maybe was thinking of bringing him on the last 10, 15, and then maybe, man, we've got this in the bag. Made that decision to put AO on, and then obviously that backfired on us slightly. Not AO, but the way the game petered out towards the end, and we conceded in the 93rd minute or whatever it was. But again, a point against Bournemouth is a good point. The other thing I would say is that the midfield for the first 20, 25 minutes I was getting frustrated with because I didn't think we were combative enough. I thought Stack was in and out of that game at the beginning. I was like, what is the man doing? He's not competing. He's not physical. I thought Ampadu was too lackadaisical in the ball at times. But then it just clicked. And the midfield just dominated. We were, I think, to be perfectly honest with you, after they scored, we were by far and away the better team. The equaliser that we got was a very good goal. Rodon was top drawer, a fantastic header. Really bad goalkeeping, really poor goalkeeping. Petrovic, and that's a man that we were gonna sign. Now the thing for me, you have to look at this from another perspective, is we defensively were solid up until the last minutes of the game. Midfield wise, I don't think we were in any way in trouble. I thought Okafor did well, especially for the Longstaff goal. But Okafor going forward and dribbling, he's that creative spark. If we had that on the other side, it would be top. We'd be a couple of points better off. So I don't know what happened there. One of the Waynes walked in, so I just thought I'd start again. But we turned around and. We've been targeting them at not just them, but in general, it was very, very apparent yesterday. We were targeting them. We have obviously main mountains in the team. The whole way through the team, you have DCL and the three men in midfield, the two centre backs. I think were very good. The targeting, Longstaff taking the corners, purposely long and high. We were getting great purchase in those corners. We're going to create problems for any team in that league this season. We're one of the biggest teams in the league. I think we'll be fine. And to be honest with you, seeing over Jack Harrison come on, I was so happy with it. I thought he done very well. I was hoping he would have come on the right and kept Okafor off or on the pitch, but then I seen Okafor, obviously he was limping a bit and was worried. Was a bit worried about that, but. Get him wrapped up in cotton wool, get DCL wrapped up in cotton wool for that Spurs game. Them two men need to be on the pitch. But going back to the second goal that we scored, Longstaff, Goodmanson, I have to take my hat off to him. That man battling on the ground and came out on top. Great wee flick on the floor. Cuts it back. Ball pings across to Brendan, takes a shot, is blocked. And then, as Longstaff's sitting just at the edge, and hits it. I didn't think it was a goal. I didn't have a clue where it went. I was like, "Is that?" And then I just seen the net rustling, so I was like going mad. It was a screamer of a goal. It was a great finish, in off the post, slides in round the netting. It looks amazing. The technique just to keep it down, to get it on target, the outside of the right boot, the spin on the ball. The keeper had no chance. It's the one thing I will say. We had a number of opportunities, and the keeper pulled off. The Petrovic pulled off a very good save at the beginning of the game, and I thought, this is a good keeper. When Rodon scored, I was like, wow. Now I've seen Petrovic make some mistakes this season, but that was not good goalkeeping. As I said many times before, I used to be a keeper. Obviously not at Leeds United or Premier League level, but that's bad goalkeeping. I think it was Semenyo was in his way, and we'll touch on Semenyo in a second, but Semenyo was in his way, I think, and I don't think he got a touch. I don't know if it glanced it or whatever, but it's just bad keeping. He's a step too far to the left for my liking, but it didn't matter. It was Rodon, it was a goal, and we equalised, and we were on top at that point, and I think we stayed on top, and I think we were by far the better team. Now, switch back to our goalkeeper. Our goalkeeper I tell you what, Perry's going to have a big problem. I don't think anybody thought that we were going to be in a position this season where Darlow was going to be the number one, Perry would be the number two, Kearns would be the number three, and Melia would be the number four. We're blessed because I tell you what, Carl Darlow has been, in the last 3 games, has been absolutely top drawer. Perry, I hope Perry comes in and actually raises his game and sees that Darlow isn't there to be number two. I hope Perry comes in and realises he's got a fight in his hands just to get minutes on the pitch. Because right now, you can't drop Darlow. He's done nothing wrong. The first goal, that free kick, this really pissed me off now. Paul Robinson was commentating on TV that I was watching, and he was trying to blame Brennan Aronson on the draft excluder being in the wrong place. He's a goalkeeper, and it really got to me, and I'll tell you why. If I'm Brendan Aronson, and as we know, I am not a lover of Brendan, but what I will say is this: Brendan Aronson was in exactly the right place. Brendan Aronson is covering the post and the inside area of the post. If the ball is playing under a wall that jumps, it means the keeper knows that Brendan's there to block that ball. It also means then that the inside of the post, the foot and a half, couple of feet, ultimately Brendan's about 5 foot, so you'd like to think 3 to 4 feet of that part of the goal is covered. My issue with this is this. The defenders turn around and blame Brendan. Brendan Aronson is not 7 foot 8 inches tall. The man is not the width of the entire wall. It's on the defenders in that wall. Pascal Strike, I think it was him and Stack. They jumped, the ball went under them. It went into the middle, more or less into the middle of the goal. One of two things. They're to blame, they jumped. They also put Brendan in place. They tell Brendan where to go along with the keeper. If Brendan's not in the right place, it's up to them to tell Brendan, not the other way about. But Brendan is in the right place. Secondly, can you blame the keeper? Not really, and I'll tell you why. Because he's unsighted until the last second. Because the ball goes under the wall. He is in belief. He trusts Brendan. He trusts the wall. But where it went under the wall, he is already committed to that trust. The problem is that it was set up incorrectly to begin with. Now, you could turn around and you could put Brendan on the other side, and then Semenyo can go to the other side of the wall underneath the keeper, but then the keeper has to make the save. He still has. I think Darlow has to make that save. Personally, it's central. It's smacked, it's hard, it's low, but it's a poor goal to give away. But you can't blame Brendan. I blame the wall and I blame the keeper. And if anybody's to look at that, they have to look at each other and look at themselves. And I do think they owe Brendan Aronson an apology, because I don't think they understand. It was Paul Robinson did. I don't understand how that man actually blames a man laying on the ground. A couple of things going forward. I am very happy with the point. Disappointed with how it worked out. Very happy with the point. I thought we were very good from start to finish. Obviously not in the last few minutes, but I thought we were very good. And it gives me a lot of hope. We've played 6 games. We're averaging a point a game. 2 wins, 2 draws, 2 defeats. And let's be brutally honest, we shouldn't have lost against Fulham. And we would have took these results at the beginning of the season. People need to stop looking at Sunderland, stop looking at Burnley. There's other teams around this league that are going to drop points. As I say, Villa are in big trouble. Currently, as I'm recording this, are 1-0 down to Fulham. Villa are 1-0 down. West Ham have just sacked their manager. They're crap. Wolves, again, the Spurs situation, they got a point at Spurs. They are crap as well. Listen, there's plenty of teams that are going to be in and around that bottom. And it's not our job to worry about those teams. We look after ourselves and we'll be fine. We need to get to January and we need to strengthen. It's as simple as that. One of the things that I'm looking forward to, I suppose, after this game and the Spurs game, we'll have to look at towards the lineup, and I'm hoping that Dan James is fit, because he has to start. Like, one of the things that I did notice it before the game, and I want to shout out Jermaine Beckford here, because I didn't think Jermaine Beckford would call players out. Not in a nasty way. He was doing it in a critical way, but like a critical improvement style. He said about Brandon, he said about he'll run all day. And the bare minimum that we ask for fans is to try your best. And you know what? Brendan does that. So you can have your detractors, you can have your plaudits and your people that will support you through the club. And there will be people from all walks of life in the different parts of the club that will support Brendan. There's other people that will criticise him. There's other people that will call him out. I'm one of the people that are very level-headed with Brendan, and in respect that I didn't like him whenever he came back to the club. I didn't want him playing for the club. He earned my respect again. He ran like there was no running. Even in the championship, he didn't have the creativity. He's no upper body strength. He's easily knocked off the ball. But the one thing you will guarantee is that he will be there to cover Bogle. And yesterday he was there to cover Bogle every second that he was on the pitch. So from a work rate perspective, Brendan gets a 10 out of 10. There's no doubt. But from an attacking perspective, at times he's like a headless chicken. He gets a 2 out of 10 for me. He creates nothing in the Premier League. However, he's one of those players that he's in your squad, because in the last 10 or 15 minutes of a game, if you're holding on, and he's the type of player that you want there to run around, close down, chase lost causes, he does that better than anybody at the club. And DCL and Okafor, to me, DCL he gives so many options to the goalkeeper, to the defenders, to the midfield. He can play a long ball, he can take it in the chest, he can hold it up, he can compete, he can bring people into play, he can trap it, he can take it on the foot, he's got a great touch, he can go beyond because he's got power, he's got pace. He just needs support. I'll give you an example. The first minute of the game when DCL takes that shot and you look to your left and it's defenders. He looks to his left and it's defenders and a goalkeeper, and he takes the shot, keeper has to make a save. But we have no number 10 there. So as I go back and touch on the fact that we have to bring players in, to me, we have to bring a right-sided midfielder in. We have to bring a number 10 in. And I personally believe we have to bring somebody better than Joel Perreault. And I know I'm on a crusade about Joel Perreault, and I want to be a positive person here, but he's not giving us anything in the Premier League. He's just not going to. It's not his game. You can't compete like DCL or Nemanja compete. So the third choice we don't have really. And if one of these two men break down, our outlet becomes null and void because I don't think Perot can compete physically. He doesn't have the pace, doesn't have the touch, doesn't have the power. I think he at best is a very good championship player. He could maybe play in Europe where it's a wee bit more technical and less physical or less pace, but definitely I think we gotta look beyond Joel Perot. And as much as it pains me to say, like Josh Sargent is flying in the championship. I'm not saying he's the answer, but as a second or a third choice striker and behind DCL and Nemanja, he's got pace, he's got power, he can run with the ball, he can run the channels. He's exactly what Perot isn't. Straight swap. I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there. But again, so much to be praiseful of the team. So much to be happy with and content with. Criticisms, yeah, but we're going to get that. But I definitely look forward to the weekend against Spurs. I think we get opportunities against them. They are not great defensively. And I think we can take advantage of that. And physically, I think we're bigger and better and stronger than them. So if we play our game and we bring the crowd into it, I think we beat Spurs. Crazy. It's the first time this season that I've been really, really solidly confident, thinking we can do this. But Spurs aren't the Spurs they were 2 years ago. We're not Leeds of last season either. We've got machines in our team, and I think it's 3 points that are up for grabs. We're currently 8 points mid-table. I'll take that all day long. A good season, we have to remember, is 17th. That's a good season. We keep going. We need to invest. And I'm not going to talk about Farke or anything just yet. I'll maybe touch on that tomorrow. But listen, this is a long one, so I don't want to go into any more detail or anything like that. This was meant to be like an 8 or 10 minute video, and it's ended up in a lot longer. So anybody that's actually got to the end of this, thank you. Please like, comment, subscribe. And again, these things, everything I've said is my opinion. Opinions again are like bumholes. Everybody has one. I'm more than happy to debate with anybody, to talk to anybody. Yeah, just give me a shout. Rysel1919. Please follow, like and subscribe. And I'll be back in the morning, and I'll maybe touch on the likes of Daniel Farke and his comments after the game, that type of thing, and where do we go with Farke, etc. But as we are now, I'm going to sign off, and I'm pretty content, pretty happy. 6 games, 8 points. Not a bad return, over a point a game. Good luck. Thank you.